I have a few things to kind of start us with as we get going today. We in customer service and contact centers, it's a little bit of a rough climb for us sometimes. How many of you show of hands, how many of you have summited Mount Everest? No? Nobody? Well, back in 2015, I had the opportunity and the challenge to watch a documentary about Everest. And I resonated with that documentary. I resonated with that. Now, I lived 30 years in Colorado, so I have never done anything of that extreme, but I've summited a decent number of 14ers. Do we have my slides? I've learned a lot from that exercise of doing that. Altitude is real. If you guys ever go over to Vancouver and top of the mountains, you know, it can really get to you sometimes. We're here to try to develop customer-centric execution. That's our objective. This is what we want. A lot of companies talk about being customer-centric. Not that many are, right? A lot of times, those that are very customer-centric, very culturally customer-centric, often struggle because of silos, actually creating the right action out of it. We live and breathe it in the contact center every day, reacting to the challenges. We're looking for that opportunity This is why it was off. All right. It is both system work and human work at the same time. We're in a position where we need to make sure that we're understanding that what we do engaging with the customers is only part of their experience. They experience the entire program, the entire ecosystem that we have. Seams show up in the customer experience. When an organization is not necessarily aligned both systemically and in context of the human factor, those seams develop. These seams are the handoffs between departments. You guys probably experience that all the time, right? Something from marketing pushed out doesn't come to the contact center fast enough. There's always those seams. Now, having lived and breathed this for almost 30 years in the contact center space and customer experience space, this is where we know we have to be able to educate back to the business to get that customer centricity executed. But it's a hard climb. Anybody else feel it with me? Is it a hard climb? Absolutely. But things are changing. Anybody feel it? Some of the early warning signs I know I'm seeing when I consult with companies now, the meetings, a lot more meetings, dashboards, loud metrics, decisions evaporate. One of the challenges we have right now is something called A and I is changing things, don't you think? The shift happens like this. Isn't AI cool? Our landscape has changed. The terrain that we're used to working in has completely been pulled out from under our feet. The rate of change, I say this a lot in other keynotes, the rate of change, we used to be able to measure things at the decade level. Major changes once a decade, maybe twice a decade. They're estimating that by next year, once a month. Things could change dramatically in different ways up to once a month based on how technology is growing so much faster. So we have to understand that this changing terrain, it actually has time compressed. The volume is much higher, right? Customer expectations are way higher than we would think they would be, right? Because here's the deal. If I can be sitting at my dining room table with my phone sitting next to me and have a conversation about something and then get an ad immediately about that same thing, from a sales perspective, customers are going to say, why can't I get that in service? Why can't I get that now? But we haven't figured that out yet. We're working on things like that. That is the kind of experience that, though, our customers, and honestly, we as customers expect. When you call other call centers, how many critique the other call centers? Probably know what their problems are. Could probably coach them on ways to improve. Absolutely. We see it and live it and breathe it every day. And our opportunity is to obviously start within our organization, but come to events like this. This is where we have the opportunity. The avalanche that is AI, what it does most is it exposes the weak layers in the organization. We're going to talk about a lot of different layers over the next 2 days. A lot of different functions, a lot of different capabilities within an organization that if they're weaker, they're more susceptible to that slide. They're more susceptible to that avalanche impacting them. So we're going to talk a lot about it. That's why events like this are an incredible opportunity to come together, learn, network. Make sure you're doing that as well, because this is a team sport. Customer experience, customer service, contact centers is absolutely a team sport. We're here to help each other do that as well. I'm going to tell you later today, this is just an intro, I'm going to come back at the end of the day today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about research that my organization has done with a partner of mine. We estimate in our research, we say that roughly 56% maturity across organizations. There's a lot of room to get to 100. When we look collectively at all the organizations that we surveyed, that we studied, we're at about a 56.7 level of maturity at an index of 100. There's a lot of room. Now, many of you are probably up in the 80s, maybe. Many of you are somewhere else. But overall, we have a lot of room to grow. And this is something we're going to work on again as we talk about today. I'm also going to talk about what are the camps to get you to that higher level of maturity. I'll just introduce them right now and say that these are the camps. Base camp being you got to get acclimated, right? You've got to be able to listen to the mountain, map the expedition, watch your instruments, engage the operating system, and then ultimately run the rope lines to get you to the top. So we're going to talk more about this later. This is an opportunity as well. So you guys ready for a great day one? All right, that wasn't too bad. But we've got, again, great day started here. I want to invite my panelists for the first panel to go ahead and start working your way up. And we're gonna talk transforming service from cost center to growth engine. So this is a great opportunity as we look through. Join me. Come on up. Cost centers or contact centers, right? Everybody thinks of them primarily as cost centers, right? Thank you. No, where's my panelists?